Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Tea with Z. My name is Zamel Solanki, and it's an absolute pleasure to be joining each and every one of you again on another episode this morning. And if you are watching live, give me some likes, give me some hearts, because at the end of the day, that's what this connection is all about. Even if you're watching on LinkedIn, give me some celebration, some support, some light bulbs, whatever other emojis are available. But if you are even watching on YouTube, a like and a subscribe would be awesome as well, because if you don't know, this actually streams out to YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn all at the same time, because people from all over the world watch this, and depending on their location, they can only access some of these platforms based where they're at really effectively and efficiently. So yeah, that's why I want to make sure that I can get this message out and share these episodes with each and every one of you the best I can. And another way in which we do that is through the Limitless Network as well, which is a group of like-minded people that value health in their own way, in whatever shape or form. That's the group that we've created to really pull, I guess, like-minded people together to come on their own health entrepreneurial journey, but also share and collaborate along the way as well. So today's episode, we're sort of kicking on a little bit more following yesterday's episode, but also some media that has sort of been playing out recently. When we have a look at, I guess, the conversations that are happening right now, there's been a term coined in the US based on an evolving trend, and it was coined by Anthony Klotz of Texas A&M University last year, which was called the Great Resignation. And as a result of that term, what Anthony noticed was this evolving trend about people getting burnt out in the workplace as a result of the pandemic. People really reevaluating their values and also what their current place of employment was offering them in terms of filling their cup, to ensure that not only were they actually going to a job, but they were going to a place that actually meant something to them and actually held them in greater regard and greater esteem, and actually allowed them to really, I guess, step into their power within that. And as a result, what we've seen is this massive movement, I guess, in the US that's been reported about this mass exit out of the industries that they might be in, or the changing up of the way in which they do their work. And it's come down, I guess, really as a result of the pandemic, highlighting maybe cracks that there were already evident within these workplaces, but also, I guess, the ability for these companies themselves to quickly adapt to the changing needs of their team, their staff, and their talent, based on these different work expectations as well. And at the end of the day, if these companies can't adapt and maintain that, well, of course they're going to get resistance from the workplace that they have, the workers that they have. And so when we look at the Great Resignation, there's arguments for and against that, particularly in Australia. But what we're starting to see is, in Australia, and particularly, we're not seeing necessarily Great Resignation, but we're seeing a great shift in, particularly in the health industry, where there's been massive stand downs. We're seeing latest media reports about over 4,000 Queensland health workers about to get notices to show cause for why they're not vaccinated. We're seeing mandated vaccinations, and of course, the concerns that have come about as a result of these sorts of mandated actions within a workforce. But particularly in the health space, what we're sort of seeing is not just from the vaccinated point of view, but also from the workload point of view, from the pressures that have been, I guess, from the pandemic, resulting in people really questioning what they do and why they do it. Because at the end of the day, when you work in the health environment, obviously, and of course, it is often, and speaking from personal experience, it's often quite a thankless job. And without that positivity and gratitude that comes from external sources, you have to find that from within, or within your cohort, or within your team, within your organization. And when the organization doesn't start providing that, then we start looking for alternate things that start to fill our cup. And what I really wanted to touch on today was the Great Resignation versus the Great Job Description. And I was thinking about this a lot because, I was having a chat with some colleagues about this and how, I could articulate this. And what I've come to realize was that the Great Resignation probably results from people not being fulfilled in their role, but not having the opportunity to really clearly define what that role actually looks like for them and how that can fit within the organization and the mission and the purpose that that organization has. And as a result of not being really able to identify what we do within our organization, to me, then that's a lack of that great job description. And, what I've seen so often is that people don't necessarily want to leave the job they have. Yet the job itself that they're undertaking is actually not fulfilling to them. The job description that they have is actually not fulfilling to them. It might not be the place of employment, it might not be the employer, but it could actually be the job description within that environment as well. And as a result of that, that's creating friction between that staff member, that talent member, and that place of employment. Of course, there's that other side as well, that place of employment might not just be a great fit. And we're now starting to see these evolving trends of, going out and naming and shaming, particularly in social media. And we're seeing it already on recruitment websites and job sites where people are rating their places of work. We're starting to see that greater divide or that great exposure to these employers and these businesses. But what I'm starting to notice anyway, is this shift from a community-based practice to a hospital-based practice or even a corporate-based practice. And you might look to me and go, well, wait a minute, Zamil, isn't that what you kind of did? And well, to an extent, yes, but not because I didn't love what I was doing. But I did it because at the end of the day, we all enter a business, whatever that looks like, to successfully exit that business. And my exit out of that business, to successfully exit out of that business, was to sell it. But at the end of the day, the pleasure I get is still being able to work within businesses in the community, as well with a whole lot of other types of businesses, to still get that level of insight and connection as well. But what I've seen now from that community perspective is this shift going to the hospital or corporate sector. And that's not because necessarily they don't like where they work or that, the community setting isn't suited to them. Because the Great Resignation would suggest that that's why, that their employer, that employment, whatever that's going on, that phrase would suggest that, they're resigning because of, I guess, that friction or that disdain towards that particular setting. But what I've seen is that it's actually the inability for that place or that employer or that workplace to actually offer them a great job description. A great job description that fits the needs of them and caters to the needs for their training, their development, and their own personal desire. Because at the end of the day, we talk about these essential human needs, and at the end of the day, we all want to obtain some sort of mastery of a skill, mastery of something, and that might be even just picking up your cup and drinking it. We see all the time where people have undergone a procedure or encountered something detrimental to them, like an accident or some sort of illness which has affected their motor skills. And at the end of the day, we spend a lot of time pursuing, again, consciously as an adult, just the ability to pick up a cup and drink from it. So at the end of the day, that's very, that's a quite, that's one type of analogy. But in the job sense, we look to pursue an element of mastery based on a desire to learn it, a desire to actually master it, based on our personal purpose, based on our personal values, based on how we can translate those skills into meaningful work. And if we can't do that within the four walls offered by our place of employment, or beyond now the four walls offered by our place of employment, we're going to seek a great job description elsewhere. Or we're going to try to work with that employer if that is an option. And I say that if it is an option because so often, how often I always hear about performance reviews and performance appraisals and really reviewing what they're doing or what that job description entails, but not really about training, development, where you want to go, what you want to do, how our place of employment can better serve your needs. That still, by serving your needs, serves the business even more. That fosters your ideas, fosters that innovation even more. So that's what I really wanted to ask you today is, within your organization, are you fearing the Great Resignation, or are you seeing this as maybe an opportunity to ensure that you can retain your talent through a great job description? A job description that is aligned on both ends. That is aligned for the talent to ensure that they're contributing towards the business, and also from the business end to ensure that whatever that talent is doing is in service to achieve that business's purpose and to achieve their mission as well. So that's what I really wanted to ask on today is, how could you look at this? Because we're seeing this great resignation happening, and there's arguments to say, well, no, it's not happening in, Australia. I would argue that, I'm seeing it happen from a sector within the industry, from a community-based practice to a hospital or corporate-based practice. We're seeing massive shifts in that at the moment, or to other industries or other careers as a result. So not even within the industry, we're seeing relearning and redevelopment outside of the industry. What are you seeing the Great Resignation look like for you, versus how can you leverage the opportunity now to have an open and honest conversation to ensure that you can retain your talent through a great job description, through something that fills their cup, through something that motivates them in order to stay? And so that's my question for you today. And yeah, I really look forward to seeing your comments in the comment section below to really get your insights and your thoughts on it, because it'd be really interesting to see, what you're seeing wherever you are in the world and how that's kind of playing out. It'd be really cool to see in your industry, whatever that might be, whatever shape or form that might be, because I know that not all of us do watch or do have a health business. We've got cleaning business, accounting businesses, financial planning business, Pilates studios, packaging businesses, tattooing businesses, whatever that might look like. How is this playing out in your industry? So that's my question for you today. And yeah, like I said, drop your comments in the comment section below. But if you haven't done so yet, while you do that, jump onto the Limitless Network as well and join the group, because at the end of the day, it's a group of like-minded people just to share information, collaborate, and work together. So that's it from me today. Have an awesome day. I look forward to catching up with you on another episode of Tea with Z tomorrow. So yeah, have an awesome day. Take care. Stay well. Bye for now.